Hello friends, so today we're going to discuss on a very interesting topic asked by many of my subscribers, how to develop logic building in competitive programming. So I have jotted down a lot of points from my experience. So let's talk about all the points one by one. So the first point is like the same, you have to solve a lot of questions and get a good exposure to all the questions. Okay, so you have to work on a lot of topics, a lot of good questions. So I am posting daily questions from the latest contest as well as random questions which I feel they are important. So do check out my channel, and also I want that you get a good hand of exposure on a lot of questions such that you know a lot of properties and a lot of techniques to solve a different type of question. Solve puzzles and lot of logical reasoning. It is also good for interview preparation because in some interview questions they might also ask you logical reasoning question. Logical reasoning build up your potential to think over the question in a lot of ways. You can just google out interview puzzle questions or puzzle questions from GFG. Also they have a lot of good questions out there. Okay, learn property of various data structures. Like what is the time complexity for a particular operation in any data structure, like the XOR, prefix XOR, or the same XOR is zero. So what does this means is, like let's assume you know some constraints of some question, and now you know that if you know or you have a good hand over data structures, you can easily find out what is the time complexity of this question. Can I solve it using some particular data structure? Or if a question has XOR or AND in it, so like find out the XOR from this subsegment or this subsequence. So you can think over bit. So you don't have to like think over a huge number of subset of problems or like what's the logic behind to solve this question. You have narrowed down your problem because they are asking for XOR. You think the question in terms of bits, or like if they have XOR written in the question, then remember two or three properties of XOR, that how to find out prefix XOR, or the XOR of two numbers which are same is 0. Okay, so this property is actually helpful in me. I was like giving a test today from my college, and this property is actually useful there. So some properties are very useful if you just remember, because if XOR comes in the question, then you can easily narrow down your thinking in which way you have to think for the question. Learn to analyze the constraint. It is very important because constraints actually help us to know how to solve the question. Okay, we have to solve it in O of n, O of log n square is also fine for that question. Constraints always help us to tell us how to approach the question. Always take a pen and paper with you while solving a question. This is also a must. And solve the question for 2-3 test cases and get confident before writing the code. So you must be having a good command over the logic before writing the code, because if you are just randomly writing the code, you just read the question, you just write the code. It should only happen if you like have seen this question earlier, or like you know that this logic is fine. Then just directly go to the code part. But if you are not confident about the logic, try to write some test cases or read the editorial test, or not, it's not editorial test case, it's the question test cases, the test cases given in the question. Try to write that question test cases and see whether this test case, how this answer is coming out from this test case. Can I replicate this logic over some test cases which I made myself? Can I replicate this logic, or how to solve this question using some data structure? So try to do these things. It will build up your logic building part. Okay, speak the question out aloud while reading. This also helps me a lot. It actually, whenever you are finding a question, just read out aloud. Don't read it in mind, because it will help you to concentrate more. Okay, concentrate on the question more and understand more from the question. Maybe you some find out some hint when you read the question aloud to yourself. Just just think that you are speaking this question to some other friend of yours. Just try to read that question. Okay. Try to come up with a brute force solution at least for the question. Okay. Because in many of the placement preparation I have seen, some brute force question or solution might also help if there is some partial input or partial test cases solution, but not in these type of contest, but that can also help. So always try to come up with at least a brute force way, because you can manipulate that brute force way according to the constraints given and then find out the solution. Okay. Now in interview, think of the exceptions before submitting the solution. So in interview, I will also make a video on how to think over the interview solutions. And if you have more question doubts, please let me down in the comment box. So coming back to the topic, think of the exceptions before submitting the question. Think of some edge cases or exceptions, because it will help you to think about the questions more deeply. Okay. Now watch online videos, like I have posted more videos. There are a lot of new YouTubers coming and posting regular videos, so do check them out also, and you will get a lot of different perceptions, or you will know how to solve these different type of questions from different point of view. Try to solve new problems with the problems which challenges you, and you will know that you have learned something new this day. So always try to improve yourself every day. Okay, try to challenge yourself, try new problems every day, and don't do the same problem which you have, like you can solve easily. Okay, try to do some new problems. Cool. Don't directly jump to the solution first, at least give. Okay, so like if you don't know the solution of some question, don't jump to the solution part. Give at least 5 to 10 minutes of deep thinking over that question. Okay, don't. Also after that 5-10 minutes of thinking, if you don't come up with a solution, fine, but try to come up with some key observations, like some key points, like you can use this technique to find out the solution, but not always the full solution. Find out some 1 2 3 observation if you can, and then see the video solution or the tutorial, and see that whether your logic or some of your key points are correct or where are you missing. It will help you to like actively use your mind and see where you are missing and where you are lagging. Don't multitask too much while solving the question. Okay, never read an tutorial once. Read like this I used when I don't get the tutorial too much. So I never used to read the tutorial once. At least read it 3-4 times. Speak it aloud also, or search the question online if it's not too latest. So like if that question which you are searching is not too latest for the question contest, then you can search that question also on Google, and like it might happen that someone had also written the solution of that question, because like that question can be really interesting. Someone can also have written that solution of that question or the tutorial of that question in their blog post. So you can also read there. You might also understand the solution from there. Okay, if you don't understand the tutorial. Write a query in the contest discussion. Contest discussion query is also helpful. Or read the other people doubts in the logics, or the logics in the description, in the discussion box. Cool. This is also important, that also for good questions or on lead code, try to read other solutions and logic also for the same question. Don't always just go with your solution. It might happen that some person also have written the same solution, or some solve the same question with some other logic. So if you read that logic, you might learn something new. Okay, always carefully understand the problem before coding. Like this also happened to me today. I like don't understand the question much. I have missed out one key point, and then write the whole code, and then I realize that my code is wrong. So I have to rewrite the code again. So always first understand the problem and then code it. Also help your friends, and never ever hesitate to ask doubts, no matter how silly it seems. So no matter how silly the doubt seems, always ask doubts to your friends or to be anyone else. Okay, and practice will make your act sharper. So be calm and work on yourself, and I know that you will improve on yourself daily, and that's the main target of everyone. So I hope you understand every point. If you still have more doubts, or if you have some questions, please leave down in the comment box. If you have more points regarding this topic, you can also leave down in the comment box, or you can join my Telegram channel, link in the description box. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Keep coding. Bye.